What's up guys, Murray here with Murray's Mobile Mechanics and welcome to the channel. Today we are back at this 2017 Audi A3 Quattro 2.0, the one we did the upper timing cover gaskets, and today we are doing the oil pan. So we learned that the oil pan was leaking, so let me set myself up, I show you what's going on and then we go from there. So that's our Audi right there. We did the upper timing cover gaskets and the VVTI adjust magnetic seals. We did that one, and then we discovered that it was leaking at the oil pan, so we did add some dye just to catch where the leak was coming from. And you can see I took the cover out. You can see this is how bad it is leaking right there. So you can see the green stuff in the oil, that's the dye we did add. So I've taken the cover off already, and you can see it is good to go. It is resting on two jack stands and the jack right there, safety, and I've raised it up as high as I can so that I can have enough room to work with at the bottom right there. And then you can see the other leak right there. I brought myself a card box because I don't want to cause a mess. This is from where it was leaking from, where it was packed, and I think I took the three torque bit bolts. I used this is a T45 for the rear bottom cover. They go there, and then on the sides there was one, and on the other side one, and then in the front one. I think I used, let me see if I remember very well, yeah, I used this is a T20, that's the one I use for the three screws right there. So right now I took the oil filter out. Since we'll be doing an oil change, we are draining the oil, so I opened the oil cap right there, and then I took the oil filter housing off so that we can drain most of the oil right there. We used the 32 socket to take the oil filter housing out, and then to actually get the drain plug, I use this flathead screwdriver, a big one. There's a special tool they use for this kind of drain plug, but I just use the flathead screwdriver and it took it out. So right now we are draining oil. We are almost done. I'm gonna put the drain plug back on, and then we take the oil pan out. So right now let me show you how the oil pan looks, and then as to where we are replacing it. So if you see the oil pan at the in the front right here is kind of dry, and on the side, the same to this side, you can see this side is kind of wet. And when you come on the oil level sensor, you can see it is leaking pretty bad right around this area. And then if you come at the back, you can see it is also wet. So definitely that's why we are replacing it. So the first thing you're going to do is grab yourself a tiny screwdriver and then unplug the connector that goes to the oil level sensor. I push the flathead screwdriver right here, and then it just comes out just like so. We are going to take off these three 10mm nuts for the oil level sensor. There's a gasket in there, and that's why it's leaking mostly from this area. So this is the tiny screwdriver that I use to unplug the connector. And then we got these screws around. I can't figure out what's the size of the torque bit we are going to use, but I tried one. It's a T30. Yeah, definitely a T30. That's what we're going to use. So right now I'll put the drain plug back on, and then we'll take the oil level sensor out, and then we'll start taking the bolts from the oil pan all around. So let me do that, and then we'll go from there. What's up guys, so we'll go ahead and put our oil drain plug back on, and then we'll start taking off these three 10mm nuts for the oil level sensor. So they are not pretty tight, so I'll take this out first. So I forgot to mention, so this is plastic, so we are actually using the upgraded version, which is the steel one. I got that on FCP EURO. I'll leave the part number in the link description below. So right now we can just wiggle it just like so, and it comes off. This is the one right here, and this is the gasket that gives up and then leaks. In our case, I think this one has given up, so we'll put this on the side, and then right now we'll start taking the bolts around the oil pan, and then we go from there. So we got about 20 torque bit bolts for the oil pan, so we'll break them loose. What's up, guys? So now that we broke them loose, we'll speed up the process with the M12. I will leave one on each corner. We'll take the rest out so that we can actually have this oil pan out. So once you get to this point, I just left two bolts. There's one here and one right there and one right there. So now we can wiggle this oil pan out, and then we'll just have to drop it, and then we'll clean the mating surfaces, and then we'll install the new one. What's up, guys? So I left two bolts. There's one right here. We are going to take it out completely because this oil pan is held tightly with the gasket. There's another bolt right here. I'll take it off completely. So this is another tool, a must-have tool in your tool collection. This is the oil pan valve cover removal tool. I'll leave the link in the description below. So all you have to do is find where you can wedge it. You can see it's kind of sharp on the edges. It's not going to damage anything. You can tap it with a hammer from this side if it's a tight spot or it's a tight gasket, but for the most part it won't damage the mating surfaces. So in my case, I'll go from right here, and you can see it just takes it out just like so, and then we can take the pan out, and then the mating surface is not actually pretty good because I think this comes with the gasket. So we'll clean it up, and then we'll add some silicone because the new oil pan comes as a kit with the gasket, some silicone, and then new bolts as well and nuts. So that's a good thing. So right now, let me clean the mating surface, and then we go from there. What's up, guys? So this is the plastic oil pan I was mentioned earlier on. So you can see we got the gasket. You can see this side is kind of dry, but if you follow it to the back side of it, you can see this way it was leaking from a little bit, but for the most part this is the one that was leaking the most. That's still right there, that's gasket. Yeah, this is the one that was showing more oil from the bottom of the oil level sensor right there. So we change that gasket, and then unfortunately the new oil pan doesn't come with a gasket, so we use silicone. So pretty much it's metal, upgraded version, and the drain plug also is not plastic, it's metal. I'll show you in a bit, and then I'll also leave the link in the description where to find them. So pretty much, yeah. So right now let me clean the matting surface on the engine side, and then we'll put some silicone in on the new oil pan, and then we go from there. What's up, guys? So you can see this is how the matting surface looks right now. All we need to do is just use some brake clean and then clean all around. It's not bad because it was held by a gasket. So silicone, if you take it out, you have to actually, you know, take some time to clean the silicone off. So I'm just gonna wipe it off with a rag and some brake clean. I think I got some brake clean somewhere right here. Yeah, we got some brake clean. So we are going to clean up that matting surface, and then we go from there. So yeah, anyway, right now I'm just gonna be cleaning. What's up, guys? So I just cleaned up the matting surface. We still have a little bit of oil because it's still dripping, so you can see it is much better than before. So you saw me using a razor blade right there. This side was a little bit dirty, so I used that scraper to actually scrape off the debris that was in the back right there. So right now we're just gonna let it be the way it is right now. It is good to go. We're going to add some silicone on the new oil pan, and pretty much that's what's remaining. And then you can see you need a cut box to catch all this oil that's dripping. So let me do that, and then we'll go from there. What's up, guys? So this is the new upgraded oil pan. You can see it's metal and this is plastic. So the kit comes with a new oil pan, it comes with the new bolts, 20 of them. It comes with the new gasket for the oil level sensor right there. Then it comes with the 3 nuts for the oil level sensor for the bottom. It comes with the new drain plug and the washer, and it comes with 2 types of silicone. There's this one where you can use a caulking gun, so it just comes with the silicone. This is a must-have 2 in your toolbox, and then it comes with this other type of silicone. So if you have a caulking gun, it makes the job easier and faster, but either way, even this one will work. So pretty much, let me add some silicone right there, and then we start rolling. So pretty much I just put silicone on the oil pan. This guy makes the job easier. So let me show you how it looks, and then we go from there. So you can see we got a nice bead all around the oil pan. Not the very best, but pretty much that's all you need. So pretty much this guy makes the job easier, guys. So pretty much you must have 2 as well. What's up, guys? So I just want to point out, so this is the new bolts for the oil pan. They are shorter than the ones that came out of the vehicle. So this is the one that came out, and if you compare them side to side, the new one is shorter. The reason why is because the oil pan, the new one is thinner than the one that came out of the vehicle, and the other one had the gasket. So right now we are going to do a last wipe, just like so. Going to do the last wipe for the oil, and then we should be good to install our new oil pan. Right now I'll start with only 2 bolts for now. So I'll go in just like so. Make sure We got the right angle. I'll start with the corner bolts. I'll put this one on, and then we'll come this side and put the other one on. And now go ahead and center all the bolts, and then we go from there. So now we've centered every bolt, so right now I'm just gonna tighten them off camera, and then I'll bring you guys back with the torque spec, and then we go from there. What's up guys? So I put the bolts back on. I torqued them to the torque spec is 8 Newton meters and then 45-degree angle after that, but unfortunately this guy, the batteries are dead, so I just, you know, snagged them and then make sure they are pretty tight, because 8 Newton meters is not too much. So right now I just lubricated the oil level sensor gasket right there, and we'll go ahead, take these bolts out just like so, and then we are going to install our new oil sensor just like so. And then it also comes with new bolts, so I'm going to use the new nuts, sorry, not bolts but nuts. And I think the torque spec for this is pretty much the same, but I'll double check and then I'll leave it in the description link below. So put those just like so. Actually it goes in pretty okay. This one looks a little bit off, so let me see if I can work around the threads to make sure they are good, and then I'll bring you guys back. What's up guys? So we got everything back on. This one gave me a bit of trouble. I think it's crooked a little bit, but I fixed it. So right now we are going to plug in our connector, make sure it clicks. This is the one for the oil level sensor. So right now we are going to go up top, fill it up with oil, put the new oil filter, and then we're going to run it. We check for leaks, and then pretty much that's all it takes. So let me do that, and then I'll bring you guys back. I'm gonna leave the torque spec for these ones around. I think it's even written on the board. It's about 8.8, I'm not too sure, Newton meters, but like I said, torque it to 8 Newton meters and then 45 degrees from there. So my torque wrench didn't work, so I just, you know, guessed. Working on cars for quite some time with experience, I just felt by touch. The same with these. So but I'll leave the torque spec in the link description below, and then let's go fill up the oil, and then we'll go from there. What's up guys? So right now I'm gonna change the filter. I'll take the old one out. This is the one right here, and then we got the new one using a Mobile 1 filter. That's the part number right there, and it comes with the new gasket. So we'll go ahead and install the new filter in there, and then we'll go ahead and take off this oil gasket from right there. We're going to install the new one just like so, and then we are going to lubricate the gasket with some fresh oil. careful you don't cause a spill. So we'll lubricate this gasket just like so, so that we have a good seal, and then we'll go ahead and install the new filter just like so. We'll go ahead and tighten our output cap housing, whatever you can call it, until it stops moving. But right here says 25.5 Newton meters. That's the torx spec. But pretty much once it snags and stops moving, that should be it. So right now, let me set myself up. We fill it up with fresh oil, and then we'll fire it up and then double check our leaks. So let's do that, and then we'll see how it goes. So this one takes 5W40. We're using mobile 1, and it takes 5.5 quarts, so you have to be gentle to avoid spilling and back pressure. So this is 5 quarts, and then we'll put half of this. This is a 1 quart, so we'll put half of this to make 5.5 quarts. Get your funnel off the way, put back your oil cap, make sure it snaps and locks in place, and then we'll fire this bad boy and check for leaks, and then we go from there. What's up, guys? So the car's been running for over 30 minutes, and I'm at the bottom right now. It is still running. You can see we got no leaks. I'm going around the oil pan, around the oil level sensor right there. You can see it's all dry, and we come this side. We are looking good. Everything is good to go. We are dry. Everything looks solid. So right now I'm just gonna clean up this bad boy, which is the bottom cover. I'm just gonna clean it up, put it back, lower the vehicle, and we should be good. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll bring you guys back. What's up, guys? So right now this Audi is lowered to the ground, and it's been running from the time I just finished doing the job, and we got no leak. The cover is put back on, so let's crawl under the vehicle and see. You can see I put a box right there to see if we can find any leaks, which we don't have. So that's a pretty much well done job. So pretty much that's all it takes to do an oil pan on a 2017 Audi Quattro, which is a 2.0 turbo. Pretty much you follow those steps and you get the job done. So I'll leave the torx specs and every tool and where to get actually the parts. I use FCP EURO, so I'm going to leave the link in the description below, and pretty much you follow those steps to get the job well done. So please don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and if you have any questions in the comments, leave them in the comment section below, and we'll definitely respond back to you. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll keep those videos coming. We'll see you on the next one.